Good morning. Good morning. This is Dr. Mary Seegers with Wisdom Wednesday podcast. And today is Wednesday, November the 17th, 2021. Podcast. And today is Wednesday, November the 17th, 2021. Podcast. And today is Wednesday, November the 17th, 2021. Podcast. So here we are, a little technical difficulties, but we're on board now. This is part 2 about, are you looking to buy, sell, rent, invest in real estate? Well, you found the right location because these powerful professional realtors can give you insight on what you need to do to make sure you secure that home or sell that home. So let me officially welcome my guests. I want to welcome each of you. So glad to have you. So let me just introduce you first to Colette Hughes. This powerful woman is, she's had over 25 years experience in different areas of real estate, from traditional, residential, and commercial real estate, short sales, bank foreclosure, tax foreclosure, auctions, and helping first-time buyers buy their home, helping seasoned buyers and sellers, property management to property investment. I love her tagline. She said, for Colette Hughes, real estate is not just her profession, it's her passion. And with that, she's also currently the broker and the owner of Virtual Real Estate Services, LLC, based in Sterling Heights, Michigan. She's proud to go above and beyond to help any community, family, friends, fellow real estate brokers and real estate agents with real estate service. Welcome, Colette. You want to add any more to that powerful bio?
Thank you so much for allowing me to be here and grace your show with my presence and grace me with your presence. All of you look fantastic this morning. And to add on to the bio, yes, real estate is my passion. It is something that I will do for free. It is something that I have done for free. And I am looking forward to the rest of the interview in this show. Thank you so much, Dr. Mary.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, I want to introduce Tiffany Lewis. We go way back. She's a dear friend. So let me just share a little information about her. Tiffany Lewis is an accomplished entrepreneur, bringing a wealth of knowledge in real estate to your doorstep. As an experienced real estate agent, Tiffany understands and acknowledges that buying and or selling a home is one of the biggest decisions in a client's life. So true, so true. With such an important decision, clients choose to work with Tiffany because of her knowledge, her experience, her compassion, her expertise, ethics, and clear understanding of customer care. I love that. In addition to real estate, Tiffany is an interior designer and stager with a love for art, all things decor, music, and running. In relation to real estate, her passion for interior design fits perfectly for sellers needing assistance or guidance on how to prepare their home to sell. She is passionate about the client's needs and takes into consideration all of their likes, dislikes, their wants, and what they want, and has the client's best interest at heart. When it comes to selling, buying, staging, and designing property in Metro Detroit, Tiffany is the person to call. So I am so excited, Tiffany. Welcome. You want to add on to that excellent bio, my friend?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me here today. I just enjoy what I do, and I think that that's partly why I'm successful, because I believe you have to enjoy it. You have to get up and every day look forward to it. If you don't, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. There's not enough people or money out there. You have to actually enjoy what you do. So I do.
That's right.
And I'm grateful.
Awesome. I love that. And last but certainly not least, she's a newer agent, but she's a dear friend. She has a heart to serve people. Denise Cochran, can you share with the audience about who you are and how you can service them?
I certainly can. So my name is Denise Cochran, and yes, I am a realtor. And just like Colette and Tiffany, I love what I do. I was sharing that my background is in accounting and finance and marketing. And as I'm also a life coach. So I feel that God just allowed me to bring all of those things together so that I could be the absolute best that I can be in real estate. So um, Colette, I share that same thing. It's not a career. I've had those. This is not a career. This is my passion. Being able to help someone who wasn't in position or might not have been in position to see that they certainly can. So one of the things that I specialize in is first-time home buyers, where a lot of people have come to me wanting to rent and lease, but I have been able to help them turn that around and become homeowners, teaching them that I want them to be into home ownership and not paying a mortgage for somebody else's property.
All right. So now we know the powerhouse here. Last week we had the guys, now we have the women. So I just want to, let's get right into it if you don't mind, ladies. I know you kind of shared how long you've been in real estate, but let me ask you this. We'll start with Colette. Will you consider yourself more of a listing agent or a buying agent or a dual agent? You know, I know we kind of talked a little bit about first time buyers, but what do you see you tend to work with more?
Well, I love to work with everyone. I wish I could work with everyone, and I try to place myself out there to do just that. However, I do have 10 other realtors in my brokerage, and so we can cover a lot of people
Yeah.
in whatever it is that they want to do. But I find myself being connected with first-time buyers, and they're almost like my children. I don't have children, and they're almost like my children. My husband called them that. He said, "Oh, you have to get your child into a new home and out the house." And then once closing comes, then I feel that sadness that I don't have to help this person any longer because I have helped them move into their own home. So it's sort of like that. I definitely connect with the first time home buyers a lot, no matter if they're young, middle age, or older. I really connect with the first time home buyers.
Awesome. What about for you, Tiffany? You're
Sorry
on
about
mute.
that. I had
Okay.
you on mute. Yeah. I wouldn't say that I particularly have a niche. I enjoy people, so I think that's why I do so well. I'm a people person. Um, I believe when I first started in real estate, I was working with first time home buyers, and then it just kind of like branched out. So I'm not a seller's agent or a buyer's agent. I would consider myself a dual agent because whomever comes to me and I feel like I can help them, I usually do take them on and help. If I can't, I'm very honest. And if I don't feel comfortable with it, I'll usually pass them along to a colleague. So I've done residential, I've done commercial, had my first commercial deal last year in 2020 during the pandemic, which was
Yes.
crazy. So I don't like put myself in one particular category just because again, I like to service all. So
Awesome. What about for you, Denise?
So I would say as a newer agent, I find the first time home buyers uh, almost gravitate to me. I do work with listings, so I would say I would work as a dual agent, but one of the specialties that I am working to get in is senior real estate. I still have my mom. My mom is 90 years old, and just some of the things that I've watched her go through. I pride myself on being able to help take care of the seniors when they're in that need. So that's something that I'm steering toward now. But certainly the first time home buyers, it does something for my heart to be able to see them get into home ownership, especially when they've believed for so long that they couldn't. So it just that drives the passion in me to want to be able to help. But certainly I'm open to residential and commercial and listing as well as buying. But I have had the first time home buyers really gravitate to me.
Awesome. Now, ladies, I'm sure you're familiar with the market that we're in now. And for the general public, they mean, what do you mean it's a seller's market? Do you mind explaining that a little more in layman's term, Colette, when you say it's a seller's market out there versus a buyer's market?
Yeah, yes. It is a seller's market, but I also like to say it is a traditional market as well, because it's not a foreclosure market. You know, sometimes clients will send me a message or call me and say, well, can you send me a foreclosure list? Okay, right now, there are no foreclosures to send you. If they're going to appear in your listings, it's going to be automatic, because some people will fall on hard times. Their homes will become foreclosed and it will just appear on your list, but it's going to be gone probably just like that. So it's not a short sale market. It is a traditional market with private owners, and those private owners are sellers, and it's a low inventory of homes this year, and it is a seller's market. The sellers can have 20 offers on one home, and they have to select which offer that they want. And so that's hard for them too. It's hard for the agent. You know, we want everyone to have the home for sure, but it is a seller's market, and they get to choose who they want to purchase that particular home, because it's such a low inventory. It's all about the demand that's going on right now. So it's a seller's market.
And to piggyback off of that, Tiffany, I'm sure you experienced that seller's market experience when the buyers are actually offering way over the asking price. Can you share some experience that you've encountered with that in the seller's market, Tiffany, if you don't
Oh
mind?
my goodness, absolutely. Like, absolutely, what Colette said is accurate. And on the buy side of it, you know, buyers get discouraged and they don't understand. So I always explain that when you first come to me, it doesn't matter if you're like immediately ready to purchase a home, or if you're coming to me in preparation of purchasing a home down the line. I explain this current market and explain the fact that it is a seller's market and what is required. And I say that to say that I think it's part of our fiduciary duty to our clients to let them know what's going on. And, you know, like you're either going to come with cash, or you're going to have to figure out another way. People always think, oh, I'm just going to, you know, offer over asking price. That might not necessarily be what the seller is looking for. So as the agent, you have to figure out what the seller is looking for so that you can position your client better and in hopes of getting that offer accepted. And I always let my client know, don't fall in love with this property. Like, you may believe it is the one, and it might be the one, but it kind of helps to, you know, get their mind prepared for the no, if it happens. And if it happens, you know, let's move on and go to the next property. And sometimes I've had deals where people came back to me because for whatever reason that deal fell through, and my client was next in line, and it's like, okay, we still have a shot, we have an option. So
Right.
yes.
Yes. Denise, have you encountered that? How, you know, have their buyer offered $5,000, $10,000 over the asking price?
So I'm gonna tell you, I wish it had just been 5 or 10,000. I have had a client offer almost 30 over asking
Oh
and still had their offer denied.
my.
I had one client who was ready to offer 60,000 over asking, and we had a lot of good conversation,
Mm.
because we still want you to have some equity in your home. And if you're doing this,
Mm.
you're devaluing before you even purchase it. So, but the market is in multiple offer situations. There are, it's called the appraisal guarantee. And being a newer agent, that's what I got introduced to. So I came in right at this time. So, you know, having to explain it and bringing more cash to the table if it doesn't appraise, and, you know, just being able to express that and explain that so that they understand. And the market had gotten so bad where, well, I won't say bad, but the market had gotten so, it was so different that people were even bringing the difference between their offer and the appraised amount. And it got to be a little steep for some of them, but that's in a multiple offer situation, that's what was happening. And I wanted to piggyback off what you said, Tiffany, about just not falling in love. One of the things that I share with my clients, and I give this example, that when we're looking for a home, we're dating. So I want you to keep yourself in the mindset that we're dating, we're not falling in love. We like them, but we're not falling in love. When we get under contract, we are now engaged. Things have changed a little bit. You know, we have a little more, we're looking forward to that date. But until we are at the closing table and have signed and the deal is complete, is when we're married. And sometimes being able to give them that, you know, and remind them when we're going through the property, okay, remember we're dating though, because I just don't want to have your whole heart so buried into this one. We come up against the multiple offer situation and then your heart is broken. And as a coach, it's so much harder to try and bring you back and get that momentum back to go and look for the next one. So I make sure, and I know I get on their nerves, but they thank me in the long run. But remember, we're just dating. Yes, I'm glad you like it, but we're just dating.
That's powerful. Yes. Colette, let me just ask you, with your experience, agents as well as being a broker, do you recommend that they put in that appraisal gap clause that they were referring to? Do you do that often? Have you found yourself having to offer that to when you put an offer in, you know, that gap appraisal
Yes,
gap clause?
yes, I've had clients to offer more than the home was worth, or just say that more, just to get their offer accepted. They will offer that appraisal guarantee as well. And some of them would get their offer accepted. It's so many different creative things that you have to do. You also have to have, if the house is occupied, you have the owner to stay there without paying a rate at all. You know, some owners need to stay there for 60 days because guess what? They have to find a home too. Right. And they have to put in appraisal guarantees somewhere for them to live. So it's the same thing. And just like Denise is saying, you're dating, but you're dating throughout the whole contract. Don't get happy until you get to the closing table. That's when you can celebrate. Yeah. And I tell my clients the same thing. And so we're all on the same page. And I love this.
Yes, powerful. Now I'm gonna go back a little while, back in 2008 and 9. We know what kind of market we had then. It was a crash. It was just devastating. People losing their homes, a lot of foreclosures then. How could, what was your experience with any of that? I know maybe it'll be for Colette and Tiffany, if you were doing real estate then. What would you compare that market to this market now? Maybe Colette, you want to share your thoughts on that?
Yes, because I've been in real estate since 1988, and I've been a part of all the different trends that has happened. Yeah. And the foreclosure market in 2008 was definitely one that I was in with both feet. Mm-hmm. And what happened during that time, I was managing properties for people that lived in other around the country, and they had homes here in Michigan, and they lost those homes to foreclosure. Those homes started selling for like $2,000 and $3,000. So it was an opportunity for people that could not buy $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 homes to buy homes for $2,000 and $3,000. And they were, I mean, multifamily homes. I mean, it was amazing. Mm-hmm. And so during that time, compare that time to this time, people could actually live where they wanted to live. Some people that wanted to live in Southfield, wanted to live in Oak Park, they bought those houses for $25,000. I sold homes in Oak Park that's now selling for $200,000. I sold them for $25,000.
Wow.
with a 2-car garage, beautiful, unbelievable. And then you fast forward to the market that we have now, which is because of the pandemic.
Mhm.
People have lost their jobs.
Yeah.
They could not move out of the homes. They could not sell them. They lost their whole business. And so that's why we have this shortage of homes right now. And so the difference is now the homes are selling for, oh, so much more and way over. And then they all have like a remorse, buyer's remorse, because they pay so much for the property.
Right.
And then there are so many repairs possibly, you know, because some of them don't even do a private inspection on the home. And so they'll have this buyer's remorse afterwards. So that's the difference. At that time, you can kind of live wherever you wanted to, pay $2,000 up to $25,000 for a home in the suburbs or wherever you wanted to.
Right.
And then now you're paying top dollar
Mhm.
for a low inventory of homes, and you have to fight to get it. And it's a battle. But guess what? With me, Tiffany, Denise, and Mary, you're going to get your home, right?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Tiffany, can you speak about the interest rate is so low now? You know, I had a mortgage person on last week here, and the interest rate is so awesome, even though the prices are higher, but with the interest low, you know, the interest rate so low, they could still buy more home and not pay the astronomical, you know, mortgage. Can you speak a little bit about that? How you encourage your clients about that?
Absolutely. And given this current market, you know, in educating clients and future clients, I always talk about that because that's one of the questions they ask. Like, you know, like I had a client, we ended up finding her a property, but she came to me wanting to live in a specific area. And 5 years ago, that area, you know, she could buy a beautiful home for like 175,000. Okay. Well, that current area, the homes are like 250, and she can't believe it. She's like, oh my God, you know, like what's going on? So in my educating her, I helped her to understand, like, you know, the inventory is so low, it's causing a spike in, you know, home value. So I also gave her the encouragement of interest rates are really low. So even if you spend more on your property today, your interest rate is so low that it's going to be a wash. You know, you're not paying 10% interest rate, mortgage rate, whereas that's what people were paying back then, you know, or more. Whereas now, you know, we're at 3%. Colette, when's the last time you've seen that? It's been a while.
Yeah.
Dr. Mary, when was the last time you've seen that?
A long
It's crazy. So yes, a long while. So you know, I'm helping people to understand that you're still going to get a deal. Now, don't be crazy and spend $100,000 over
Right.
what it is, because we all know that what goes up comes down
Mhm.
at some point. Okay. So I can't speak to the 2008 market crash because I wasn't licensed at that time, but I lived through it. My property value
I know.
went down, yeah, tanked, you know, so I can speak to that, but in my heart of hearts and given the analytics behind it, I don't believe that we'll go back there. I believe that we'll even out. So I'm hoping that that's what will happen and we'll never see that 2008 again. So
I know we learned our lessons about that, and they put some more laws in place so that won't happen
right.
again with
Yes.
the crash.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
just shifting gears a little bit, Denise, I would like to ask you, if a client is interested in buying a home, tell me how would you let them know that you're the right person to work with them to find a home? So I'm a new buyer looking to buy a home. Let's have that interaction if you don't mind.
Okay. So what I do when I have a new buyer that's interested, whether it's through a lead or referral, however I get the client, I always make sure that I let them know that before we get started or we go any further, I have a buyer's consultation. My buyer's consultation is called setting the expectation. And what it does is I go through not every part of the purchase agreement, but I go through a lot of the key parts of the purchase agreement so that I can explain it to them. I let them know where the start is. The start is not to go looking for houses. The start is pre-approval, and letting them know that you get pre-approved. And because we have to have a starting point. We aren't going to have that where we're running in circles and looking for houses and you don't know how much you're approved for. So you're looking for $200,000 houses and you're approved for 100,000, or we're looking at $100,000 houses and you're approved for 300. So we aren't going to waste that time. So getting them, finding out where they are is what I tell them. In order to start, you have to start. And the starting point is the pre-approval. So talking to their lender, or I have a lenders available to them. Also with that, if there are clients who are not credit worthy, you know, I have had to shop around with lenders because I've had some lenders credit shame my clients. And because I'm a person that works for from compassion and passion, I don't allow that to happen. I don't just leave them hanging. So I've partnered myself with credit repair as well as the lenders, so that if they are not, we are not, because my question has always been, well, where are they going? We can't just leave them. They want to own a home too. So let's see what we can do to get them where they need to be so that they can. And with the buyer's consultation, I just make sure that I'm giving them all the information that they need so that they know what to expect. Because some, again, first-time home buyers, they've never been through the experience. And so I want to be able to, especially when the market is cooled down a little bit, but where it was last year and earlier part of this year, if the property comes up today and you want to make an offer, I prefer not having to be explaining the purchase agreement at the time we should be making an offer. So if I can do the buyer's consultation up front, I'm giving you all the things that you need to know about so that if you have questions, we can do it not under pressure. We can answer those questions so that you understand, like trying to explain appraisal guarantee and the occupancy. You know, some sellers will need that before they can sell their home. So being able to explain those things up front, and like you said about the interest rates and the difference between conventional and FHA, just giving them the knowledge up front, it helps not just them, but it helps us as the agent, because we're able to navigate through and kind of understand what areas they may need a little bit more help or a little more questions answered. Because when we get ready to sign that purchase agreement in a multiple offer situation, I don't want you to miss out on the home because we've gone through the 101 again and again and again and missed out on making the offer. So I just prefer doing the buyer's consult up front. It saved me from buyers who weren't ready. They thought it was something different. It's helped me with the buyers that can be difficult later through the process. And then they say they don't remember us ever having a conversation about upfront costs. I do that because then I'm able to say, well, remember we did. I had you take the notes during that. Remember I said, write this down. Now, whether they did or not, but I also am able to let them know that I'm never going to be taking them out without them having some knowledge of what we're doing. So
Powerful, yes. So thank you so much. And that's so important because now we have so many sophisticated buyers out there. You know, they're on the internet. They know more. They think they know more than we know. Have you encountered something like that, Colette? Yeah, these customers, they come in and tell you, well, Zillow said this, and my house is valued at this. You know? So how do you deal with those type of customers? You know, they want to be in the know, but how do we educate them and inform them why you need a professional realtor to help you through that?
Yes, absolutely. They do feel that they know more than us because they have access to everything. They can go to Google and Google whatever they need to know. Or guess what? They have a family member that's talking in their ear as well. Like, no, don't buy that house. Don't use this person. Use another person. And so there's so many different things. But let's talk about the mindset a little bit.
Yeah.
The mindset of different personalities. Some personalities might not work with me, but they might work with one of my realtors. Some personalities may not work with one of my realtors. I might have to call Denise. Denise, do you want to take on this particular client? And I will do that with no problem. I will call Tiffany, like, Tiffany, can you take on this particular client? Because it's all about the mindset. Because someone else might have like a more serene and say, okay, well, I need to give more patience to this particular client. But I'm like that. I'm very patient with them. Like I said, they're all like my children and I love them. But they might be a wild child and might not want to listen, you know, to me. And I may have to just direct them to someone else. But we still want them to buy a house, right, Denise? We still want them to buy a house. They deserve a house too. The wild children need a house as well.
That's right.
I love that collaboration. You know, it's not so much competition, it's really working together, you know. And when you said that, it made my husband and I are both realtors, and he loves listing, you know, and he would always send me the buyers because he said, you got more patience, you know, I want to show them 3 houses, they got to pick from 3. I said, no, honey, you know, that's a major decision. So I just had more patience and I was able to work with it. I put myself in their positions. I was once there as well. What about for you, Tiffany? How do you work with your clients? Do you seem to, you know, come through recommendations? Do people refer you, or do you go through leads? And how do you actually introduce yourself to that person that you're going to be working with through the process?
Pretty much, just like Denise said, I always start with, you know, a buyer's or a seller's consultation, because I think you get the most knowledge during that time. And I believe your clients are listening more during that time. Now, piggybacking off of what Denise and Colette said, sometimes they don't want to listen, but it's very important for you to sit down at that time and talk to them so that you can go back and say, remember I said X, Y, and Z? You know, like, you have to help them to remember, because some have selective memory. And it's just a part of the process. Sometimes they're so ready, you know, to like buy, or they're so ready to sell that they're only focused on that. So you have to help them during that process. And I too am like quite patient. I owned a daycare many years ago. So I don't know if it comes from that part of psychology that I'm like dealing with different people, that, you know, I'm just that person, you know, you can come to me with anything. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I do pretty good with being the bearer of bad news. It's just about the presentation of it all. And it's about helping your clients to understand and keep that knowledge, and consistently reminding them along the process. And I think Denise brought up a very good point when she said, you know, everybody deserves a home. If you want a home, you deserve a home. So let's help you get to that place of where you can get the home for you. And that later on, you're not so deflated that, oh man, I thought I was going to be able to purchase a home. If you want a home, and I'm talking to everyone, you are capable of purchasing a home. Let's get you to those steps of doing so. So that's how I usually start off. And I get a lot of referrals. I haven't done like a ton of advertisement this year. When I first started as an agent, I did a ton of advertisement. But now I have developed a reputation, so I get past clients, referrals, and I appreciate every single referral.
Yes, because you're providing a service for your clients, you know. and
Right.
I always say you're a lifetime client, right?
Yes.
What
for
about
sure.
investors? Have any of you worked with investors? You know, they have sometimes they have a tendency to have a different mindset. You want to start,
Ooh,
Denise?
thank you.
Have you worked with any investors, and your experience with that?
yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, Tiffany, go ahead.
No, you can. She said you. Go ahead, and I'll piggyback off of you.
So with the investors, I found that the difference is they want everything right now. They don't like having to answer a lot of questions. It's, I want this property, just give it to me. But I've had to have a little more patience. I mean, and that's the thing. My level of patience is phenomenal. So having the patience, even though they want to kind of rush through everything, and it's like, yeah, okay, I got you. Well, let's do it this way, and let's see how it works if we try it this way.
Right.
And for some that just don't have the patience, they'll go somewhere else. But for the most part, they tend to listen more. I'll try and make sure I point out something that had you to not be in such a hurry to get it. Point out something that is bringing value to what it is and why you can just slow down a little bit with the hasty decisions. I know you have the money, that's great, but we still want to make sure that you're getting the right property. I've had investors who have reached out to me just recently. I sold 2 houses right next door to each other, and they were very excited, and they didn't know a lot about the properties, and I was just able to give them, again, adding value to what it was they were finding, and then they referred me to some of their other investor friends, because I wasn't going to just let them do anything. I suggested to one to do a foundation inspection. He didn't want it. I'm advising you as your agent. I'm advising you to do a foundation inspection. And once he did, he called me like 10 times that day. Normally I can't get in touch with him. He called me. He said, Denise, I'm just grateful. I listened to you. I said, and I know it's not what you wanted to hear, but I would rather you spend $200 now than $10,000 after we close. And then you would have been calling me 10 times saying, Denise, why did you let me buy it? So, but
yes. So what about for you, Tiffany? We'll get to Colette too, because investors are really, they want to make money so they can, provide a home or whatever. So what about your experience, Tiffany, with investors?
Same with as Denise. I have worked with them. I'm currently working with them, and they're different. And like Denise said, they have the money, so they want everything quick. They want to move. And you have to be able to provide that knowledge. Like, okay, you've been investing for 10 years. Okay, there's still things you need to know. There's still a process. Let me do what I do. Let me provide you the knowledge that I have so that this can turn out to be a great investment, opposed to a bad investment. And like Denise said, getting 10 calls later. So, they're different. I like to work with them. That's what they do. So let me help you in your path. And prior to me becoming a licensed agent, I did some fix and flips myself prior to becoming a licensed agent. So I know that side of it, and I know what I would have wanted to know then.
Right.
So I bring that added value. So
awesome. What about for you, Colette?
Well, even if it's an investor, a first-time home buyer, a person that's selling their home, or whatever the situation is, commercial property, there's a process. And the investor has to know that it's a process just like anyone else.
That's right.
And you have to make sure, though, that you get their proof of funds. You have to make sure that it's for real money, because that has happened too. The investor was like maybe possibly in an investor club, and then they had to pay for some other properties, and then they had to extend your particular property. So they just have to be prepared, and you just have to be prepared to educate them on the process, because you can't hold up anyone's home because you're doing too much.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed this conversation so much, but I don't want to leave without each of you telling the audience how they can reach out to you, how they can make sure that they have any real estate needs, that they can look you up and connect with you. So we'll start right here with Colette, if you don't mind. Share that information. And people are looking for homes. People are wanting to sell their homes. And so just share that information if you don't mind.
Yes, I don't mind. Virtual Real Estate Services. My information is right here on the Zoom screen, but if you're just listening in, please call me at 313-510-2091. And also email me at Colette at virtualrealestateservices.com. And please reach out to me, and also tell your family, your friends, your neighbors, anyone that Virtual Real Estate Services is here to help. And if we can't help you, I don't mind collaborating with someone else.
So
Back
where are
to
you
you.
located? I love that name, Virtual Real Estate Services. I love that. Where are you
Yes,
located?
well, I'm located in Sterling Heights, Michigan. However, we help people in Southeast Michigan.
Yes.
And so, like I said, I have realtors that's in the Oakland County area, Macomb County area. I'm in Macomb County, and then Wayne County area. So we're able to help a lot of people.
Yes. Thank you so much. What about for you, Tiffany?
You can call me directly at 248-717-1250. You can visit my website at www.idrisgroup.com. That's IDRESGROUP.com. You can email me, Tiffany@idrisgroup.com, TIFFANY@idrisgroup.com. I work for Keller Williams out of Royal Oak, Michigan. You can always call them. You can reach out to me many ways, and I welcome you. I welcome your business. I welcome questions, because sometimes it starts with a question. So I welcome you. And like Colette said, if I can't help you, I'm sure one of us ladies can, and I will be happy to refer you out.
And of course, your social media, Tiffany, are you on social media?
Yes, I am on social media. I am on Instagram as Interiors and Real Estate, and I am on Facebook as myself. That is Tiffany Lewis.
And what about for you, Colette? How can you know, social media, everybody's going out on social media trying to find. how
Yes.
can you reach
Mhm,
out on social
absolutely.
media?
Yes, absolutely. I'm on Facebook as Colette Hughes, Virtual Real Estate Services. I have a business page, Virtual Real Estate Services, and I am on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. Please
Mhm.
connect with me on all platforms. I will be happy to connect and chat and talk about real estate. It's my passion.
I love it. And Denise, what about for yourself?
So, you can, again, just like the ladies, I would love to be able to help anyone looking to buy or sell their homes. And again, if it's just like Colette said, if I'm not in position to help, I will make sure that I refer you to someone who offers the same level of service that I do. You can reach me at my website, closewithdenisec.com. That's CLOSEWITHDENISEC.com. And my email address is closewithdenise@gmail.com. And you can reach me by phone, area code 248-862-1300. And I am on all social media platforms. So you can reach me on Facebook as Denise Cochran, Instagram at Denise Inspires, and LinkedIn as well. But I would love the opportunity to help you guys and put you in the hands of young ladies just like these in case I'm in position that I'm not able to.
Wow, powerful. So I'd like to just close with you guys giving your closing statement to the audience. You gave your information, but share with them what you can do for them as a real estate professional. And again, I'm honored to have you ladies here. It was been a powerful, powerful discussion, conversation. And maybe we should do a clubhouse. Let's talk about real estate on
Yes.
Clubhouse.
Yes,
You know,
yes, I
I'll
would love
see
that.
you guys. Okay. So we'll start with Collect and just tell the audience how they can, how you can service them.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Mary, for having me on your show. I've had an awesome morning because of this show, and also with just meeting these ladies and how I can help a first-time home buyer or a person that's listing their properties for the first time. I can walk you through the process. It's all a process. You don't just get under contract and then you're happily moving forward. towards the closing table. It's not happily. Sometimes there are different situations that can come up that will stop you from getting through to that process. And so I'm able to walk you step by step from looking at the property, from getting under contract to the next step of the appraisal. Then you get to, well, your private inspection, then to the appraisal. And then you go through with your lender, or if you have cash, that's even better. But then you're going through with your lender, and then you get to the closing table. And I'm there right there with you to celebrate. So I help you through the process with ease as much as I can. And I'm going to talk to you constantly. I'm not going to just leave you to your own thoughts, because I'm the expert and I'm who you need to speak with, not everyone else. Don't place everyone else in your ear. You need to just talk to me.
Oh, I
That's
love
Dr.
it.
Mary.
Thank you so much, Colette. Tiffany?
The same. So Dr. Mary, I counted as a privilege that I was asked to participate. I really appreciate it. And it was a great opportunity. Like Colette said, started my morning off great. And what I would bring is my knowledge, my expertise, basically the process, walking through the process, taking those baby steps and holding your hand along the way, because it is a huge decision, one that I hope everyone at some point in their life has an opportunity to make. And I would love to be a part of that process. And again, walk you through it, be by your side and celebrate with you at the end with those keys. If you're receiving keys or giving keys away, either way, I would love to be a part of that process.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
And Denise Cochran, you want to close us out?
Yes, and I have to say thank you as well, Dr. Mary. You are such a phenomenal woman.
Mhm.
And I live in gratitude for, our paths crossing the way that they have. And I'm just glad to be able to share the platform with Colette and Tiffany. You guys you give me so much to look forward to in real estate, because I pride myself on customer service. So my clients is everything to me. I always let my clients know or they have let me know that I've never made them feel like a transaction is about the money. I've never made my clients ever feel like that. But what I will bring to you is the patience, is the knowledge. And like these ladies have said, I will walk you through the process. I will hold your hand, whether it's up, down, good, bad, in or out, but I will be there with you from the start to the finish. So from when we start dating to when you get married, I will be there for that entire process. And I also just like to share with my audience and the clients that I allow the people to wear the hats that they're good at. So I don't make promises to you about lending. I don't talk a lot about lending. I talk about the basics, but I let the lender wear the hat that they're good at. And I also let my lenders know to let me wear the hat that I'm good at. So I won't talk lending. You don't talk real estate. Let me handle that. And that's what I'm going to do for you, and make sure that I put you in the hands of people who will take care of you in the areas that you need to be taken care of.
Wow. Wow. I tell your audience, if you're looking to buy, to sell, to invest, or just even have a question, I promise you, if you reach out to any of these powerful women, you will get the answer that you need, and you will make that American dream come true by owning your own home. So listen, have a wonderful day. And this is a great start of your day. And I know this is going to be just the beginning of new things. So with that, I want to again thank my panel. I just want to thank my guests, and it's an honor to be in your presence today. But before I sign off, I just want to remind everyone next week on Wisdom Wednesday, where there's everyday life of getting some nuggets, wisdom nuggets for everyday living. And next week, it's the week before Thanksgiving, and I'll have a special guest that she's going to talk about how to be grateful for what we have. Whether it's your home, whether you have your house, and whatever it is. So we're going to talk about that next week. So be sure to tune in. And until then, have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.